Hello and welcome back to our fourth and final episode of the Advent Box specials. Probably got a better name for that by now, maybe,
Can't
but
think
if
of a better
not,
name than that. That's
yeah,
rolls off the tongue.
this. So welcome. This is the fourth and final. I don't know if any of you are any good at maths, but you may work out that an Advent calendar with 25 doesn't divide by four. So this is a bumper edition where we're having seven whiskies. So by the time we finish this, we will probably be incomprehensible.
I would have solved some crisis.
Yes. Um, as an aside, we are recording this not on Christmas, but on Christmas 2, Electric Boogaloo.
When he
The
came back.
Yeah, the return
Yeah.
of Jesus Cristo. Uh,
yeah. Return of the Jesus.
yeah. So it's Easter, if any of you don't work that one out either.
None of you are not strict Christians like we are. You,
Yeah.
you, you wouldn't have known those subtle hints.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty niche holiday, really, Easter. Like,
Especially when it's overshadowed, like we were saying earlier, by a much bigger one today.
much more important one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Trans Day of Visibility.
Yep.
Shout out to any trans listeners.
Yep. And I'm sorry for us being woke tards or whatever you want to call, but some people just deserve to live. So
Yeah, not
take that
everybody.
how you want.
Not everybody. There's a fair few people who don't.
True.
But
Well,
yeah, I don't generally categorize them by
yeah.
a class, more
Yeah.
by income
The
level.
actual. Uh,
Uh, that could be, and I'm not going to say which end because then that can be left or right wing depending on
yeah,
which end you think I'm talking about.
you could be like
I
the
could
absolute
be,
biggest
yeah,
comrade ever, or you could be, king capitalist.
yeah, I could be either. You never know. Um, should we actually drink some whiskies because we're
I think,
already
yeah,
tackling social justice and we're
yeah,
sober, so.
yeah. We're gonna probably have to try and go through the whiskies quicker on this one, which
Given
is
we've got seven.
probably worse for our alcoholism. But because we've got seven to talk about, we don't want to make this go for
It's good practice for an upcoming
hour and a
event
half.
anyway.
Yeah,
I'm going to need all
true.
I can
We
get, I
do need
think.
some practice on the old. How much can you drink from?
Yeah, not much, not should, can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're starting on 19, yeah?
Yeah, we're starting on number 19,
No, no,
which
no, no, no,
is
no, 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 19.
uh I was going how are we running this where I was making you guess?
Sometimes I was asking for you to give me clues, and others. If you
I
think I
mean,
can guess it, if you think I've got a chance, I'm up for trying.
it's been rough to get this, but uh the third syllable of this distillery is a beer in The Simpsons.
Oh, so the first, so it's Duff, obviously.
Yeah.
Now I've got to think of the third
So it's something
Milton Duff.
that's the one.
It's not bad.
No. Uh and it's an old one. Uh I'm
Oh,
not gonna lie, this is a fairly old run-in that we've got coming in. I don't think we have anything that couldn't drink itself in Britain.
fair enough. I
I
like the way
think
you've
this
put that.
may be the only one that couldn't drink itself in America at 20 years old.
We've never had a Milton Duff either.
Nope. So Milton Duff is a Speyside. I'm not 100% sure on the geography.
I will look it up, but a space side that we've never had.
Yeah. I don't think they particularly release
It's just outside Elgin. Well,
single malts, but that
a few miles.
towards Stufftown, though.
3 miles outside Elgin. Towards it's like southwestish, so towards kind of Forres, but south. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. But it is across. I'm guessing maybe it's owned by Chivers because across from it is, at it is the Chivers brothers.
No, probably check.
According to Google Maps, it's just Chivers brothers. Is there?
Gordon and MacPhail, I think.
Huh.
Oh no, Chivas. It was just a homepage of Gordon. The first thing that came up was Gordon Whitfield. But if it's owned by Chivas, you know why we haven't had one before, because it doesn't normally release.
Yeah.
But ready to go. If you're ready to give
So
it
it's
a
the
sniff.
key component of Ballantine's blended whiskey.
I've had a Valentine's. I had it at my friend's wedding. I had it.
And
It
it
was
does
because
have.
I was in Portugal and it was the only whiskey I could actually find to buy.
Horribly said that. It
Yeah.
makes its one single malt called Mostowie or Mostowie.
Okay, but
MOSSTOWIE.
Mostowie probably, but yeah, I haven't had it.
Sounds like a Naz.
Yeah.
A name like that. But it's very
So,
light.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's been in the. I think this is an American oak. I'm not sure if it's virgin. I doubt they would do 20 years in a virgin oak, but you never know.
What would you say, an American oak rather than like bourbon or something?
Yeah, and single cask. So.
All right, let me just write this one down. 1995.
20 years old at the bottling.
A single malt Speyside. What strength we're looking at?
This is 45%. So just a nice. This isn't as punchy a box. I think there are some punchy ones towards the end.
This is into it.
But it's not as aggressively punchy as some of the other boxes have been.
Not as punchy as maybe the bourbons we had.
Yeah, there were some punchy ones in there too.
Yeah.
Those were
That's very
off mic tasting.
Yes. Not everyone's got a voice for radio like we do, so they don't like to be recorded.
And a face for radio.
Between us, yeah.
Yeah.
I got quite malty to begin with from that. It made me think of being in like the malting rooms or whatever.
I can see that.
Maybe like a nuttiness, or like a wood gluiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a wood glue or something like that.
Acrylic varnish is one of the notes that's been put on here.
That's not bad.
Yeah, alongside some jammy fruits.
Huh?
There's also a note that I've just hit by reading it at the same time as doing it, but fresh mustard seeds. Which is
I'm not sure I could get that, but yeah.
Have you ever had too much mustard?
I don't really like mustard, so I don't generally have it in anything.
Okay, so if you ever eat, if say you have a ham and mustard sandwich, and you get a bit where there
mustard
was
sandwich,
ham and mustard.
Right, fair enough, yeah.
And you get to, sometimes when you're making a sandwich and there's a slice of bread and there's been a large bubble in the dough. So say that bit gets filled with mustard by accident and you eat it, you get the inverse of an ice cream headache, but with mustard.
I know what you mean.
And the smell on that reminds me of the all you can smell after that, not during it because you can't smell anything during it because your nose is on fire, but after.
I did go for a cheeky sip while you were describing your mustard sandwich.
Cool. Did it taste like mustard?
It didn't. No.
No, I just wanted to see if
bit power of suggestion.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very vanilla. It takes a little while to spool up, but then it's really vanilla-y. It's really quite light. It makes me think of like a Glen Grant, and it's got a decent finish on it.
Yeah. So they said again it starts off quiet, but they said that it moves into a citrus note, which I can get, but I think it is more vanilla-y. And then they've said notes of kumquat and white pepper and Asian pear, but with a short to medium finish.
Yeah.
I think it's more vanilla-y, but
yeah, I got a lot of vanilla that first sip. I'm getting less this, but it's because you're acclimatized, aren't you?
There is some sort of tartness in there, citrusy.
Yeah, but you said like Asian pear. I think I've had one of them, and I kind of get what they're saying, like that kind of like a crisp,
yeah,
like a really crisp apple kind.
Yeah, it's not citrus so much as it, but it's like a fruity tartness.
Yeah, but like not a particularly sweet apple, but just like really,
Mm.
really crisp.
I can see that.
Crisp. I'm gonna aim to make this like our first ever 30-minute podcast. It's 8 whiskies.
I mean, not gonna lie, we're gonna struggle to do that already. But
What, just physically struggle to do it at all, or
at this rate, we are not there.
yeah, fair, fair. I'm happy to give that one a score if you want.
Hmm.
I would go in for that one at a 3.
I would agree. I was hoping you were coming along for a ride with me at 3.
Yeah, I am always coming along for the ride with you on whiskies by this point. I am an NPC in your whiskey tasting journey.
Oh, what was that? Must have been the wind. Speaking of NPCs and
Yeah.
things like Skyrim / Bethesda games,
Yeah.
so I can move it swiftly into the Fallout sort of post-apocalypse. I was reading about a game that's coming out that's basically like Dwarf Fortress, but so it's procedurally generated NPCs like in Dwarf Fortress who can like do anything that the player character can do.
Yeah.
But it's not like it is also a third person game. So you're walking about but
What's it called then?
I can't remember. That's the
It's not
problem.
that Bell one, is it?
No, it is post-apocalypse one.
Bellwright sounds pretty good, or Bellwrought or whatever. I've seen. I mean, I'm just gonna be playing Helldivers 2 to my death at this point. It's just really good.
Yeah. I've mentioned it and I can't remember the name, but I'll find it and I'll let you know when I remember. It's PC only, but it's an
New
alpha
PC
just
is
now.
on my list.
Yeah.
When I get hopefully I get an NDA bonus.
Yeah. It's an alpha. It's an alpha just now, so it's not quite there, but apparently it's looking good for an alpha.
Yeah.
That means so.
Yeah, always excited to think of new games. Should we move on to the big 2-0?
We can. We can move into the next one. Do you want me to?
Again, if you think I've got a chance of guessing it, I do like to inflate my own ego by getting it right.
Well, so we've mentioned this town before. The town. So the second half of the name of the distillery is the town where there's a church that is also a very, very well respected antique shop.
Rothfez?
Yes. So
Okay. So it's Glenrothes, is it?
yes, it is.
Okay.
This one is 1988 Glenrothes 25-year-old aromatic orange tobacco by Weems Malts.
I just noticed that I think
Weems obviously named things after what the main tasting note is.
Yeah, that's slightly worrying. I just noticed I think my Christmas one is on the wrong side.
What do you mean?
It's not behind the door 25. It's behind the blank door on the left.
Oh, well, mine was behind the door 25. But did you get their little badges and stuff from the other door?
There's a bottle and a little red bag behind the door that I can see on that side, on the left.
Oh, so it's both in there.
Looks like it.
Oh well.
I haven't seen what the bottle is. I can just see that there's a bottle there because there's obviously it's like Swiss cheese now.
Yeah, that's
right.
fine.
Orange tobacco. I'm not entirely sure that's a flavour profile I've been longing to try, but
It'll be like your earthiness, but with citrus.
Yeah. I was going to say, at this point in his whiskey journey,
it's not going to not try it.
No, there's no whiskey flavour profile I probably wouldn't try. That's probably not true. There is probably some that they could say.
Peated Pete.
No, I would probably try that just so I can complain about it. But it's got peat in this. I do like. Yeah, I probably wouldn't go for that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once is probably enough. I do like how. I think that's a good name for a whiskey. Just peated Pete.
Yeah. So This is, as I said, it's a Glenoffice, so it's Speyside. So it's the second one in the calendar, I believe. So matured in a sherry, but which is also the other one, but the last one was called Kumquat Costa. This one's aromatic orange. So we'll see.
Aromatic orange tobacco.
Yeah, to be fair. So what are you getting on the nose?
Let's see. It's got that earthiness to it, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Not too bad. There is definitely citrus there as well. Yeah, like an earthy citrusiness, and like an aromatic orange tobacco, maybe.
Yeah. So what they've given on the nose here is incense like with damp sandalwood, cooking spices,
It
like
is a
a
bit
bit like
spicy.
they said a walk-in humidor, which is something that you have to probably be quite rich to have.
Have you? No one's ever let me walk into the humidor.
Yeah. I mean, how big would your humidor have to be? How many cigars would you need? But,
At least 10.
yeah. Can you imagine you had a walk-in humidor? You just got like 10 supermarket bought cigarillos.
just, just dotted around. Someone's like, "Oh, it's empty." It's like, "Yeah, I don't smoke." Filthy habit.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it says it smells like whiskey spilt on a leather-bound book.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we're priced out of some of these tasting notes sometimes.
I have some leather-bound books. Mostly
Oh, it's man
engineering
of culture.
manuals. But
Man of culture.
real culture, engineering manuals from like the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to go in for a sip,
Yeah, I always do.
even when it's going to taste like tobacco.
Mm. That's actually quite chocolatey.
Hmm.
That's the first thing that jumps to my mind. A little bit cocoa-y, so maybe that's the earthiness. It's quite sweet, but like creamy kind of sweetness rather than a fruity kind of sweetness.
Definitely is
Flavor lingers.
heavy. Yeah, spicy and oily.
Yeah, yeah.
There
Yeah,
is
definitely
definitely an
oily.
orange to it, like or a citrus to it.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, I forgot to mention that this is a 46%, so we've went up a whole percent. Just so I don't know.
At this rate, gonna get into actual alcohol at some point.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, they put down orange oil, suede, which I've never tasted suede. To be fair, I'm not a bootlicker, but
do just to go back to social justice.
yeah.
Do the boots that are proverbially licked come in suede? I always imagine them as just leather.
Black leather, aren't they? But yeah,
I mean, you could do black suede, I suppose. If suede is definitely, I think, is
it's
nicer
more of
to
a
look
dress
at.
boot.
It's nicer to look at, but it's
Yeah,
harder to maintain and worse in bad weather.
yeah.
So
So is
maybe it
it?
could be like the jack boots in like drier climates.
That's Italian jack boots.
Yeah, they
The
must
home
have
of
been
fascism. So
true. They invented it.
yeah,
Um,
but yeah, good point. But yeah,
yeah. No, I was just
uh,
thinking because it
and
does
then it
bring
said,
back an interesting point that I read about recently. But I'll not distract you, and we'll come back to that interesting point if I remember.
"Oh no, you can go." I was just going to say they put tinned fruits orange juice with soy sauce.
Nah, it's not. It's not umami enough for soy
No,
sauce.
and then honey with hints of clove, which is the spice, and
Mm.
then a spicy finish, which is fairly low.
I still get like chocolate, like quite light chocolate, like quite a white chocolate without without the sweetness.
Have you tried that rose chocolate?
Yeah, one of
It's
my favorite
harder.
chocolates at the moment is that Blue Cocoa that I think I discussed before that makes Bean to Bar in London.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
they do a blonde chocolate because they don't use sugar. They use like something from coconuts to sweeten it.
All right, yeah.
And they do like a blonde chocolate, and it's amazing. It's really,
I mean,
really good.
I do think coconut and chocolate is one of the best pairings, so that
It
sounds
doesn't
like
taste like
right up my street.
coconut is the thing because I don't really like coconut,
Mm.
but it's just a really nice chocolate bar. They make just really good chocolate. They're the ones that I order bourbons from sometimes.
Nice.
Bourbons.
I know the
Bourbons.
big
I
ones.
always
I know,
get
yeah,
those two confused. Talk about them too much.
yeah. I was going to say, with that, for me, the reason I love coconut and chocolate together is, do you remember, uh, chocolate truffles, where they
Mm.
use coconut to bind the chocolate, basically?
All right,
That's
yeah.
yeah, that's where it came from for me. But yeah,
Speaking of chocolate, I've got some of my Easter egg left after this. I'm looking forward to.
so do I. I've got a lint one, so fancy.
I got a Hotel Chocolat extra thick
Oh,
one I bought for myself.
that's extra fancy.
Yeah, and the bit that's left is like embedded with chocolate chip cookies.
Nice.
It's really good. It came in a tin rather than a box, so I knew it was good.
Yeah,
It was also £30.
yeah. Well, you're paying for the tin at some point.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm trying to think of a way to reuse the tin. Plus, it's Jesus, and he's my best.
Yeah.
He's my initial sake.
And as my wife to be said today, this truly Easter is the more important festival because everyone's born, not often of a virgin, but everyone's born. Not many people come back from the dead.
No, him and Sean Bean are the two I can think of.
Yeah, and I mean they're both equal. So
Well, exactly. Yeah. Give it 2,000 years. Sean
yeah,
Bean will have a book and all sorts.
he already has a book. It's a
Oh,
magazine, but
he does have a magazine. Yeah. Highly well produced professional magazine.
yeah.
Young adult literature. Did you want to score this one? I think
Sorry, I was just having my last sip.
I'm tempted to go 3.5, but no, I'm going to go 3 again. I'm going to be harsh.
I think I'm willing to give it the 3.5. I think it was better enough.
I think it was like a 3.2.
Yes, probably. I'll be
For
the
me.
generous. If I go
Yeah.
generous and you go harsh, then it balances out.
Balances that out. It does. It does indeed. Yeah, so the thing I was reading, by the way, when we were talking about the suede boots of fascism, was just that basically a lot of the mistakes that people make when they depict fascism in, not only fascism, but evil in literature or in fiction, is they always make them look cool.
Yeah.
They give them like cool uniforms and, capes and things like that. And it's actually, it turns out that evil generally in real life, there's a quote for it, is like banal and boring and petty and, small-minded, just things that just really aren't very appealing. But they almost, like, by doing them in literature, is like, oh, here you go, the stormtroopers from Star Wars or whatever, look how cool they look. You almost act as a bit of an advertisement for them.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes what attracts like young men into them. It's like, yeah, but I get this cool uniform. And
Yeah, just because Hugo Boss made the Nazis uniform didn't make them any less snivelling, spineless pricks.
well, exactly.
Anyway.
Sorry, I just thought that was an interesting point.
Not that I think you should ever have to shy away from saying things like that about Nazis, but more that it's very off topic.
It is, yes. I didn't mean to linger on that because it's
No.
not a nice
I
topic
was the
to
one
linger
that
on. But
also
I thought it was
it
quite
down
an
a bit,
interesting thing that I read. That was all.
Yeah, I'd agree with it wholeheartedly. Like
21.
21. We are staying in Speyside.
I mean, we're doing pretty well. What are we like? How far into this call are we at the moment? Okay, not too bad. Might need to speed it up a little bit, maybe, but stay in Speyside.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm trying to stay conscious.
Yeah. We're staying in Speyside, but I don't even know if I can think of a way to explain this one, so it might just
let's just go for it then. Let's just
going for it. We're moving up again to 48.7%.
Oh, we're slowly moving.
Aging down. This one's aging bourbon.
Okay, yeah. I can see why you'd have struggled. We have had one of these before, haven't we?
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's a 1992 Glen Talker's 22-year-old. I don't know. I know. I looked them up. They're a Chivas, but owned brand. But I don't know. I don't know that they do many single malts, but they do some.
Sorry, I just remember I forgot to record something on the last one, so I'm just writing it down now. What did you say it was? 48.7.
Yes. I think mostly the Glen Talkers that you can buy though are bottled by others.
We've had quite a few Glen Talkers. This is the 9th. We've had a Glen Talkers 2008, a Garden MacPhail Glen Talkers 27-year-old, which was at Garden McPhail.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones we had there. It wasn't the one you guessed.
No, I would have been surprised if I managed to guess that.
We've had a similarly aged one, Glentarker's from the single cask, 1996 sherry cask, 22-year-old. So
this is a single cask too.
And this is a bourbon hogshead. No, the single cask is in the blender.
The blender.
Yeah, or bottler or whatever.
Bottler. Yeah, definitely not much blending to be done with single casks.
Fair point. So a bit later, but same age in a different cask. We've had a Berry Bros and Rudd Glentarker's 1996, 21 years old. We've had a Heroes and Heretics Glentarker's 6-year-old. Secret Spirits Glentarker's 11-year-old. Heroes and Heretics Glentarker's 7 years old.
So we've had a few.
And we've had one of the ones in the advent calendar previous was a blend of a Glentarker's and a Benriach.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And another one was a 7-year-old Glenallachie Glentarker's and Macduff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, quite a few Glentarkers.
Yeah.
And yet I don't really remember them, so I don't know if that.
No.
I mean, to be fair, there's very few. There's not many distilleries of the ones we've tried that consistently stand out in my mind.
No, and if they do, they're there. They're the ones that we talk about a lot.
Yeah, generally it's because we've been to them.
Yeah, true. Because we wanted to go because they've stood out often.
Yeah.
Or they've stood out because we've tried so much of their whiskey when we were there that it held a place. But yeah.
Well, it's easy to remember a place when you've had like a cool tower around it and that, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think that the consensus is that the Glentarkers are mostly just bottled by indie bottlers or indie blenders. So that's why.
But using the Chivas blends.
But they're using Chivas.
Cool.
So you want to go in for a nosing on this?
Yep, just pouring it out. Sorry, just takes me a little while with the jigger because I'm always worried I'm just going to pour it all over my keyboard. Right. Sorry. Yes. Ooh, that's very baked goodsy.
Yes.
Caramelized sugar.
I could agree with that definitely. So I'm getting maybe baklava.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
International.
I like that.
Yeah. The notes they've given were fruity cereals such as Frosted Flakes, which would be Frosties in the UK.
Yeah.
Or Fruity Pebbles, which we don't get.
We've simultaneously gone from like too low class to get the last tasting note to too high class to get this one.
Yeah. And then they put grapefruit marmalade on buttery biscuits. Which is
They mean American biscuits.
I'm assuming they mean American biscuits, but yeah. But why would you put marmalade on I don't know. And then
I've never had an American biscuit, so maybe it works.
Yeah. Or toasted malted bread or malt breads.
Yeah, maybe malt bread.
There's definitely, but I think there's a sweetness there and a baked goods there.
Yeah, I think it's definitely baked goods to me. This
pastry more than bread.
Yeah, definitely more. Yeah, exactly. More in the pastry sense rather than the bread sense.
More buttery.
More rich, more decadent.
Yeah.
Like you can smell it and you're like, that's going to be bad for me when I eat this.
Yeah.
I mean, bread's bad for you as well, but yeah.
Kick on and eat twice as much as you should because you've made the commitment now.
Mm. You only die once.
Anyway, yeah. I'm intrigued
it's a little bit more earthy.
You had a sip?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just checking.
I've got less restraint than you when it comes to trying them. I have like one sniff and then just drink them. It's more earthy than I expected. Although I'm starting to think that there is a link between that because I think we've had a few where we smelled baked goods and then be like,
There probably is, yeah. I think there's an interesting umaminess to it, I'd say.
It starts off like that creamy sweetness, but then that umami, earthy. It's not like earthy like in a tobacco way. It's more earthy in like a nutty way.
Like a superseded loaf.
Oh yeah, we're sticking with the bread. I like this.
Yeah. But the notes that were given on this website were a fizzy mouthfeel, which is prickly, which is quieter in the mouth than some of the others. And then they said it's briny and spicy up front, which I don't really get. Briny.
It's
Could maybe say
briny,
there's
maybe is the umami-ness, but I wouldn't.
yeah.
I'd say Glen Scotia is briny to start.
And then some fruits that I've never heard of, like jicama.
They sell cloves, don't they, for fat people?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So big tall people, hi.
Yeah, recovered.
Yeah. And
Damn, you're
back
doing
to
so
Asian,
well.
Asian pears, and then some botanicals.
Maybe this guy was just eating Asian pears while he was drinking them.
I think so.
And it's been like, these taste like Asian pears.
It says it's got like a botanical finish, but I'm not too sure about that. But
a botanical finish.
I think it does have a bit of like a
maybe like a herbaliness at the end.
That flavor profile that dances around a bit whilst you're.
It does.
Not quite as much as that Pop Roxy bourbon or rye or whatever it was we had.
It was a bourbon. I've got a bottle.
Yeah, it was just the wildest thing that's ever happened on my taste bud.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But a little like a nod to that kind of a.
Yeah,
effect.
it does hit. Like if you think of those spider graphs with the
Yeah.
key tastings on it, it's kind of like a 3 or a 2 on all of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't really peak on any, but it hits quite a few of them.
Which is probably why at the start he says it's quieter, mostly because nothing stands out. Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's a murmur of everything rather than a.
Takes a little bit of your of time for you to.
Yeah, actually. Determine what you're drinking.
Yeah, so Glentorkers is just west of Keith.
Mm-hmm.
The distillery. It's not visitable by the looks of it.
A lot of these ones aren't, are they? Because they're not really.
Yeah, there's a few in Speyside we haven't visited, but we've done a lot of them by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like if it's owned by Chivers, they basically use Strophyla for their visitable one, don't they?
Yeah.
Because it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and in every single Chivers.
And right next to a train station.
Which is handy, yeah.
And a house that I'm still looking at.
You're still not sold?
It's still on the thing, and it's literally 0.1 miles away from. It's
That'd
like on the drive into like the actual drive for Strophyla. It's on that. It's an old rectory on that path.
Oh right, so it's like.
It's right there.
We'll have walked past it, basically.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, it's tempting. If I could get a job that would allow me to live up there. I mean, it's right next to the train station as well, because do you remember Strophyla's pretty much on the train station?
Yeah.
So it's just like...
you just have to, yeah. I mean...
That's not the way my job's going, though.
No.
I think...
I mean, the whole world, it's felt like for a while that's the way all jobs were going, and then very quickly...
I think maybe the job after next, I could go into like consulting or whatever, but my next job, they're definitely lining me up for more time in the office at the next job.
Yeah. I think everyone's trying to get lined up for more time in the office, aren't they? Because someone worked out that if nobody goes to the office, then nobody buys meal deals.
Well, they want me. They're definitely grooming me for my boss's job at the moment.
Fair enough.
Which is
just make sure that they actually promote you with a pay rise this time.
I'll tell you about that after.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready to score?
Yes, sorry, I was having a sip of water. Yes, score. I would go a 2.5.
I was going to drop back to a 3 on that, so yeah.
You see, I'm feeling a bit harsh because I think compared to previous ones, that would not be a 2.5. But because I've started at a 3.
I just think in the context of this this whole advent calendar, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a better way of saying it, because some of those first ones we had in that first one, like the 4.5s we gave, were amazing. Yeah. Really, really good.
I think we should probably have some of that coming up, but we'll.
Yeah. It depends how you feel on the day, doesn't it?
And also, like it's all this is all very, very subjective.
Yeah, of course it is. But for me, yeah, I'm not a big fan of those kind of umami, leathery, tobacco-y, whatever flavors. I don't mind them as much as say
They're
like
good for a
peat.
meal, but
Yes, yeah, but they're
and I'm
not what
sure
I'm
if you were
looking
having
for.
this whiskey paired with something, you would have it with, chow
Yeah.
mein or something like that.
Oh yeah, I could go well with chow mein. Or yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I mean, my type of whiskies that I'm kind of favorite of is the sherry bombs, which are big on like the cinnamon and that kind of flavors, and single grains, which are hugely vanilla. So it's like the opposite end of the spectrum almost.
Yeah.
Although I do like the umaminess in Glen Scotia, but I think that's because it's paired with it's like salt of caramel.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just trying to desperately explain why I don't. I was going to say why I don't like whiskey, but I don't not like it. I'd quite happily have the other half of that bottle.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I will.
When I say bottle, I mean the sample bottle. I haven't just drunk 3 halves of it.
Yeah, you guys think that we are like lightweights of that. We're drinking 350 mils of whiskey each tasting just to make sure we know.
We drink 3 bottles in an hour.
Yeah.
Give us more views, goddammit.
Yeah. Jim Murray, eat your heart out.
Yeah, and we don't even talk about Raid Shadow Legends, but there is today's. No, I'm joking.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Anyway, not to talk about a sponsor, but to do a little bit of a segment. The last of the bottlers mentioned in the pamphlet that came with the advent calendar. It's not all of the bottlers. There's been 1 or 2 bottlers that haven't got a thing. I think they've each had 1 whiskey each. But the last one has had
like
multiples.
Single Cask Nation.
Yeah. So, but
anyway,
yes, there are basically two others I think that had 1 each. But this is the Malt Whiskey Company, which I believe were the founders of the company that actually made this. I think it might be the same people as Secret Spirits, but I'm not sure. So anyway, the Malt Whiskey Company is a family-owned business formed in 2004 and based in the Scottish Highlands. It was founded and is still run by Stuart Nickerson, who has over 30 years' experience in the industry. Stuart is a distiller at heart and over the years has managed many malt distilleries, including Highland Park, Glenrothes, Glenfiddich, and Balvenie, as well as Girvan Grain Distillery. In 2008, he reopened Glenglassaugh Distillery after a period of 22 years and successfully ran it for 5 years before the ownership of the distillery changed. Over the last 10 years, the Malt Whisky Company has been purchasing a number of carefully selected casks of aged Scotch whisky, which are continuing to mature at distilleries around Scotland. The company also annually invests in its own small stock of new fillings so that in future years there will be sufficient quality and quantity of casks available for bottling. Each year, only a small selection of the stock are deemed ready for bottling and are released as single cask, single malt Scotch whisky. As each bottling is from 1 single cask, there are a limited number of bottles available. The whisky is bottled without using chill filtration to retain as much of the cask flavour as possible. Caramel colouring is not added, and normally the whisky is bottled at cask strength. The result is a whisky that is as close to what the distiller intended for drinking as it is possible to achieve. It might not be this one that's the distiller, the bottler that is Secret Spirits. Actually, I think it's someone else. But yeah, there you go. That's a brief introduction to the Malt Whisky Company.
You know what's interesting? Secret Spirits. We had a box almost entirely of Secret Spirits. 5 out of 6 were Secret Spirits.
Yeah.
And at time of this recording, so not at time of upload, it's the last one we uploaded.
That is. There you go. Weird coincidences.
Episode 47 for the Swats among you.
There you go, guys. So you can work
Shop local, I think, is the title.
Because
I can't remember why.
For those of you that are tuning in to the 4th of a special edition of this for some reason, we don't name them beforehand. You might have worked that out.
Oh, sorry, I was just looking through the subtitles of those upcoming ones, and one of them is. I'm not ruin what the title is because it's obviously an upcoming thing. But I just remember that we came up with buddy cop names, and neither of us wanted to accept one of them, so we just both took the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, we did like a Garfunkel and Oates inverse, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we were just oats and oats. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. So
Sorry, go on.
on to
Yes.
the next whiskey.
Am I
I've
guessing,
just-
or are we just?
you can guess this one. It's on Mull.
Oh, it's a Tobermory, is it?
Yeah.
It's a Balamari. Sorry.
Yeah. We may have had some chat about Balmore and Tobermory before, because I was trying to work out what island Tobermory was on. This is an interesting one. Again, old enough to drink itself in America.
Nice.
1994 Tobermory 21-year-old, bottled by the Malt Whiskey Company. This has cast in bourbon and sherry, so it's obviously finished in a sherry cask, and they've got cask number 13. So
Unlucky for some.
yeah, lucky for us though.
Aye. Well, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Might be really unlucky for us, to be fair. We'll find out soon enough.
And it's a bit more of a punch on this one.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention. Yeah, as I said in our blurb about the Malt Whiskey Co., they are usually at cask strength. So this one is 57.3%. Little step up from 48.7, but
Might actually feel the alcohol in this one.
yeah, it's probably going to help us on our way towards slumber fairly shortly.
It was pretty good. That, like, I think we demonstrated. So this is the thing. The event that's coming up where we're going to be drinking heavily, I am definitely going to be the lightest weight there.
Oh no, my youngest brother probably will be, but he
I'm
doesn't
just
really
not.
drink, so.
But also, he's young, so he'll be able to recover.
I suppose he'll be able to recover the next day. But yeah.
Whereas I'm over 30, so I'm dead. But it was quite funny. Like, if it was specifically whiskey, I think I'd have a good chance against most people nowadays.
Yeah, probably.
But it was,
I think you'd have a good chance against most of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite funny that, like, some of the people, I think we'd had them, we were like, yeah, I was all right. It felt like doing one of these.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a podcast. And then others were like, yeah, I can't remember how we hung up. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think when we went to Isla with them, I feel like me and you were probably the least affected as well.
Yeah. I think most of the days when we were waking up in the morning, it's just like, okay, so
yeah,
only had like 12, 13 whiskies yesterday, quite light day, and everyone else was like,
you ready to drink more whiskey for breakfast? And they're like, oh, I don't really want to try more whiskey. We're like, oh, no. We had that the first time we went to Aberlour, and we both went, don't want to go to that pub.
We now are on, we're far into this journey, and so we're going to drink as soon as we get to a place that serves alcohol.
Yes. Do you have whiskey? Great.
Oh, the hotel bar.
We've had our tasting at 10 a.m. or whatever it was in Benramac.
Yeah. Yeah, but get the first train.
Get there early. Yeah, I'll have an extra whiskey. No worries.
Yeah.
Oh, this is reminding me of something.
What you doing for the rest of today? We're on a tight schedule to make it to another distillery, then a tasting.
Yeah, we're probably going to go for a whiskey bar for tea.
Yeah. Could you recommend one?
Yeah. Can you recommend one that we can like appear at Stalkers at? This has got a. You know when you got a smell and you just can't. It's like conjuring a memory, but you can't think why.
Yeah. It's a repressed trauma.
Yeah, it could be one I've had reviewed before.
I do get what you mean with this. We've had a whiskey that smells like this before. I think it's actually triggering the memory of whiskey rather than.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like. Maybe I'll just say the words that it makes me think of, and then we'll see if we can make sense of it.
Okay.
It's like smoke, but it's not peat. Maybe like a leatheriness.
It's definitely leathery.
It's not.
I would put this on a sliding scale.
It's not the one, is it?
It's so. What I was going to suggest is the second time we had the one. This is what.
Actually, give me 2 seconds.
You're going to do a comparison.
I have a bottle, some of it left. Yeah, fill the dead air. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay. I'll just explain to some people about Tobermory. So Tobermory is on the Isle of Mull, as we mentioned, and as Josh mentioned, Balamory, the kids' TV show, was also filmed in Tobermory. But Tobermory is owned by the same company as Bunnahabhain and Deanston, a company called Distill. But they themselves produce two different strings of whiskey. So they make Tobermory, which is non-peated, which is what this is, and they also do a heavily peated whiskey called Ledaig, which is spelled Ledaig. So if you've seen that, it's not Ledaig, it's Ledaig. So leave back.
All right, let's see. All right, it's only in that little bottle, so I've got to give it a sniff.
Yeah, I was just explaining to everyone that Tobermory make two different expressions. Essentially, they have Tobermory, which is the unpeated stuff, and Ledaig, which is the peated stuff.
Yeah, it's similar. The one is definitely more chemically.
Yeah, this
similar.
is like
It's got that leatheriness.
This has that leatheriness. It's not polished so much as
Nice. It's unpolished
waxed,
leather.
I would say.
Waxed. Yeah, okay. Waxed leather on the nose. We're getting that good.
Yeah.
Let's see if it tastes like waxed leather.
Hopefully not. The nosing note I have is wet cardboard with fruits in the background, and then a truffle like earthiness.
It is quite fruity. It's definitely punchy. I mean, it's 57%, so it makes itself known, but it's not egregious. That's very fruity actually for 57%.
There's a note here that I really like for this, but I'll see what else we can give.
A little bit of vanilla, spice. I don't want to say citrus fruits, but I don't want to say like forest fruits either. It's not really raisiny. It's quite like maybe grapes.
So whilst we're discussing this concept, whether you want to call it a fruit or not, the note that I liked was a well-ripened banana.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I would call a banana a fruit.
Yeah, but I mean, like they are like one of these things where they're not really a fruit because of how they carry their seeds or whatever. You know, like
they're a berry, aren't they, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, biologists just make stuff up to justify the job.
It's like tomatoes are fruit, but you would never have it in a fruit salad. Like so.
Yeah, and there's a thing about that, like knowledge is knowing tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing it doesn't belong in a fruit salad.
Yeah, by the same stretch, peppers are fruits, and so chili peppers.
When they say well-ripened banana, do you think they mean a banana that's been ripened for a while, or one that's been ripened in a well?
Maybe both.
Yeah, yeah. How long has it been ripened in the well?
Yeah, but a long time. Yeah. Basically, I think they were going for like it's got that. Well, in the finish, they've put like bruised fruits. So like that sort of, when you bruise a fruit and it makes all the sugars do something.
Yeah, I can kind of get a banana breadiness from it. Because that's the whole point of well-ripened bananas, isn't it? You make banana bread.
Banana bread, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Or you leave them in the bottom of your bag over summer holidays.
Yeah.
And then you
think banana bread would work with cheese?
Probably not as well as like
a fruitcake.
A fruitcake.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to change the cheese. You'd probably have to go like a lighter cheese, like Edam.
Yeah, like not a salted one.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I told you we'd solve crises. Yeah. Okay. So I think well-ripe fruit is a good shout.
Yeah, like almost on the turn. Like the sugars are beginning to get close to fermentation.
Yeah. So I put well-ripe fruit. Strength makes itself known but doesn't overpower. Finishes long and warming. I mean, it's 57%. It's always going to be. It's a little bit your kidney shutting down every time that warms you up.
Well, I mean, it's because you don't need the blood to flow to that part of the kidney anymore, so it can.
I just thought it was like a mental feedback loop. Like it's a couple less days that you're probably going to have to drag out in your existence. So your brain's like, great. Mental tally those ones off.
Yeah.
We're a positive channel.
Oh no, he's went back to the gym. I've got to rub them out.
That's why you get sad.
Okay. Got a score for that, do you think?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
4.
Yeah, I really like that.
I'm in the 4. I was thinking I was being too generous with the 4, but I agree. I was worried that I'd just got drunk, but if you're
Yeah, I
also
think
there,
I
then
have just got drunk as well, and I think I don't know if this is going to sound not snobby. It's like almost the opposite of snobby. It's like imagine you know someone who's been a committed chav for like 20 years and is now like a
yeah,
45-year-old chav or whatever. Been
yeah,
longer than 20 years, I guess. And they're like, oh yeah, I can't drink like normal beer anymore. It's too weak.
yeah,
I only like strong beers, and then they're meaning like a 4.5% of like Stella or whatever.
yeah. Carlsberg Export at 5.
Yeah, they're really pushing the boat out. I feel like, in a
To be
way, I
honest, let's be
don't
honest. If they're
like 40 to 50% whiskies as much as I like cask strength whiskies anymore.
true, probably you get
And I
more
don't know
of
if
the
that's
essence.
I just like that not that burn, but that warmth, and I just don't get it from the.
I think there's an element of alcoholism in there.
Yeah,
Also,
it
I think there's
probably
an
is.
element of yeah. There's like, as with anything, any hobby slash interest slash you could say addiction. We won't, but like I was more meaning like the way people get addicted to like adrenaline and that. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
Maybe
the,
you kind of get addicted to the feeling of like the alcohol burn.
yeah, the interest as you get into something, then
You do get more potential. That's
you
half the
want
point of
and you
having a
want
hobby, isn't it?
slightly more extreme expressions of the
Yeah,
interest. Like
because I still think you can over alcohol a whiskey. We've definitely had
oh,
whiskies that the
definitely.
strength is too
You have to
much.
be good to manage to carry the strength. That's why
Yeah,
it feel when you get one that's like 60%, but also doesn't kill you.
yeah.
You're like, oh, that must be good.
I just
Like
feel like the alcohol warmth is an additional bit.
yeah, it's part of it. Yeah,
Yeah, like you drink spirits to feel the alcohol at least a little bit. And maybe that'd be if I'd have had that one first and then the others later, I'd have been feeling it because I'm 4 whiskies in now.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
like you
think
said,
yeah, there's an element of that.
like
So
you said at the start, it's all very subjective.
yeah, so
What
if
number are
we're
we on to
ready
now?
to move
23.
on, yes, to the 23rd of December. So I did say that you might
Remember.
want a second glass, but
Ah,
it was potentially a trick.
oh, don't
Can you
you?
guess what distillery we're at?
So if you said a second glass, but a trick, you're implying peat, but not delivering peat. So it could be a Bunnahabhain.
You would be correct.
Ah, this is good, ladies. Well, it's not so much that; it's just what I would guess.
Yeah, it's old as well. This one.
An old Bunnahabhain.
Yeah, we're into the realms of whiskies that were
Oh yeah,
casked before we they were put into their cask before we were born. Both of us.
cast when Rob was like
Yeah.
middle-aged.
And that theme, by the way, continues for the rest of these.
Oh,
None.
nice.
All of these spirits were made. The liquid that is in the next 3 bottles, this bottle and the next 2 bottles, was created before either of us was born.
Maybe my favorite distillery tasting.
Definitely my favorite distillery atmosphere, like location.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's a few
it's
distillery tastings.
possibly because we had more friends
Yeah,
with us, and it was
there's
a
a
nice
couple of distillery
day.
tastings that only me and you have done together that I've really like. If you count the lunch at
Yeah,
Glenfiddich, that was pretty amazing. Or to be fair, I really like the Glenmoray one as well, where we propped up the little bar there,
yeah,
and the
and
Benramac one,
Ben
and
Rock
the
was
Glen
good.
Grant one.
Yeah, but I
That
don't
one
think
was
any other distillery that Carlisle probably had as good a view,
it
but
did, but the
the
way it
place where the
was.
bar was didn't let you just look at the view whilst you were drinking.
If we'd have been there for a tasting, it'd have been equal because the tasting tables were down behind the bar.
Yeah, and
So it's not fair to say that, I suppose.
I would have to say that if we'd have had more time and less of their whiskey in the garden area
Yeah.
what's it called?
Glengrant.
No, I meant I was talking about it's not a garden area, but they had like a
Oh, Ardbeg.
Ardbeg outside Ardbeg.
Yes.
I really liked that bit.
Yes. Yeah, that was lovely as well. The whole of Islay
But,
was beautiful, to be
yeah,
fair.
we just had very good weather.
Yeah. It's just a beautiful place, and we somehow got some.
Yeah.
And yeah, Boona just benefited from the fact that we'd paid for a tasting there, so
We
that
got a
beat
good.
Kalila because of that.
It's just
Because
a
we
drink,
hadn't paid for a tasting there, which was unfair. You know, it's apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather, right on the shore.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was the first full
looking
tasting we
across
did
to
with
Jura, I think it there was it as
the
well.
Paps, yeah.
Paps of Jura.
The first full tasting we'd done with all of us friends.
It's
All of my friends. You apparently got a lot more than that, but all of my friends.
all of our joint friends will go for.
Yeah, all of his joint work colleagues. Yeah, because obviously we'd done one previous day.
I'm sure by the end of next month we'll have at least a couple of other joint friends.
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon
Right.
so. They seem like a good bunch.
I mean, some of them aren't. Some of them are absolute. But you know, you can't get rid of people who you've known for.
Well, yeah, some I'll get along with. I think all I'll get along with.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen how they react in the chat, so.
There does seem to be like certain lines in terms of there's ones who are like going one way and the others who are just a bit more quiet, and I think I fall on the bit more quiet side, but yeah.
Anyway, well, again,
It'll be good.
So
it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. / terrified of it, but also looking forward to it.
I'm the same.
Because I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a huge like pub crawl drinker person, but it'll be fun.
I think the way that we've set up is to probably avoid as much pub crawling and just go like place. But yeah,
I just think it's going to be a laugh.
Simple should be good.
Yeah, simple as. Right.
Onto the nosing.
Indeedy.
We're being cryptic, by the way, but we are talking about my stag do, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you wanted that on.
I mean, I mentioned that I'll get married, so. Yeah. What are you getting on the nose? Oh, I forgot to mention this is 55.4%, and it's in a sherry. But I mean, I think we're all going to be quite leathery because they're all old AF.
Yeah, as the kids say.
I mean, they're old enough.
That's what we are.
Oh, I also this is the 1988 Bunnahabhain 27-year-old, so it was bottled younger than we are now, but it has existed longer than we have.
Yeah, that'd be nice if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Younger than we are now, bottled.
Yeah.
So the fading memory.
I mean, drinking this much probably doesn't help with the memory, but.
Yeah, if I keep drinking, I'll forget that I was once 27. What were we doing when I was 20? It doesn't matter. It is leathery, but there's something else there. Maybe like pineapple?
I can get that.
Or melon? You know what I mean? That kind of.
Yeah.
That kind of fruity.
So this is another element of where I think we drink too much cash down whiskey, because they've put with water some wonderful cherry and lingonberry notes come out, but they have no other mention of fruits. But I'm getting the fruits.
Yeah. I don't think that's so alcoholic that it blasts your sinuses.
No. He's put heavy oak presence, burnt biscuits.
We've got to try American biscuits at some point, aren't we, to be able to?
Yeah. Dates.
We need an American
there is a
friend.
There's
We've got a semi-American friend. Maybe they can make some biscuits for us.
Yeah. There is a sherry.
There is a sherryness to it. There's like a.
No, actually like a smells like sherry. Like.
Oh, smells. I would say more like a sherry whiskey note. There's definitely like nutmeg / cinnamon, that kind of.
I'll change it. It smells like brandy. But
okay, that I could go with. Yeah, that I could go with. All right, what does it taste like?
I'll tell you. I can tell you what it's supposed to taste like, but
Ooh, bit of a sherry bomb,
yeah, I can
quite
imagine.
strong.
I think what's happened here is been a habit of made a whiskey, then put it in the sherry butt to age,
I would never have guessed this was an Isla.
and I think it's what's happened is it's maybe in about 1995 they've been like, this doesn't taste like a Bunnahabhain, and they've sold it to someone and they've just left it in the sherry butt. They sold it to AG Rattray and they've left it in the sherry butt for
There is
the remaining 20 years.
on the second flavor, second tasting, there is like a coastalness to it, like a brininess, but it is very much a sherry bomb.
So sort of Campbelltowny then.
Yeah, yeah, there is like a seaweedy brininess. I put undercurrents of brininess for the double entendres. Not really double entendre.
Definitely drunk when he was writing this one. One of my tasting notes is like a driver on his way to the hospital with a pregnant wife. The pepper overtakes you. You've really got to ease yourself into this Mamba Jamba.
What?
Yeah. I didn't think it was peppery at all. Okay.
What? So he seems to be implying that if a driver overtakes with a pregnant wife, you've then got to like start racing him.
Yeah.
How dare you overtake me?
Oh, I mean, you've challenged his manliness. So.
True. Yeah.
He
As
says
an
he's
American,
got a cola-like edge. I don't think so. But...
As an American, you've got to like produce your Glock, made in America, obviously, and start firing.
Yeah. And what else? Yeah, 15 or whatever.
To be fair, if you're shooting at an unborn child, you're just getting it ready for school in America. Yeah.
Well, you're helping the mum because it's the only legal form of abortion.
No, she'd probably still get prosecuted.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, she should have dodged a bullet.
It's got very political there, but you know.
Which side of the kill certain income range am I on?
Vote now.
Yeah, fuck you, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
What? It's got.
I'm
I mean,
just drinking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm alright. Yeah, fine. It's definitely got that lingering like sherry Christmas cakey finish.
He says, if you once you added the water, it got much worse, which is 90% of my actual.
It just flattens whiskies. It doesn't open them.
He
It
says
just flattens them.
It literally said it becomes tired with water. I should not have added water.
Yeah. All I've ever had, there's very few whiskies I've had that have improved with water. Only the ones that are so alcoholic that you can't taste anything.
Yeah.
Majority of them,
it's probably not a great whiskey. So
yeah, majority of them, it just flattens them out. And I think that goes back to what we were saying about we like the alcohol, not burn, because that sounds like we're trying to be alpha males who pay
it's like
£5,000 to be shouted at by a guy with a sledgehammer. But I mean, like the warmth.
So yeah, there's a similar thing. I'm trying to think who it was. There was a guy who used to do. Oh no, it's Harley Monestein from Epic Mealtime who said this, and he says I'm a soda connoisseur, but there's a certain thing with soda which is like fizzy pop if you want, but is the way that the carbonation sits in the liquid causes a feeling in your throat, and it's different for every soda.
It's all part of the taste experience, isn't it?
Yeah, and he says that most people who like Diet Coke probably don't actually like the taste of Diet Coke, but Diet Coke is the only one that that has like the sharpest feel.
Yeah, it's like mouthfeel of that definitely change flavour.
Yeah, it's a mouthfeel thing that makes it like if you have flat Diet Coke, it's the most horrible thing ever. But when it has this super sharp fizz,
well, it's like tea, isn't it?
Yeah,
cold tea is rank.
Yeah,
tastes
unless
the same.
You didn't put the milk in, and then
yeah, okay, but it tastes the same.
Yeah,
or like cold coffee is pretty terrible, but iced coffee is nice.
Well, it's like cold water versus like lukewarm water versus hot water. Like hot water is okay. Cold water is great. Lukewarm water, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was going to say about. Do you see those alpha male courses online that you pay like $12,000 and they shout at you and call you worthless, and they have like you have to hold sledgehammers and get sprayed with hoses and things.
I could give you an
I feel
alpha
like
male course quicker.
I feel like we should do one where it's an alpha male course and we just start you on whiskies, and then if you say that like a 45-50% one burns, we shout at you and call you
I was just
what's
going
an
to say,
American insult?
oh, I know one, but you can't say it.
Pussy.
Get cancelled. No, that's a better one. Yeah.
They like pussy. That's one because it's
Uh,
like it's an insult, but it's not really that harsh because then
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't like it.
Well, because in Scotland we would use a different word for that same insult, but yeah.
Well, exactly.
And
in
also,
the rest of the world, if you're insulting someone, we're happy to go quite harsh. In
yeah,
America, they're like, "Gosh darn it!"
like, you dickwad.
Yeah, it's like,
No,
we can do
alright.
better. Before we divert onto another social justice cause, which I'm happy to do. Do you
Yeah,
want to score this one?
yeah. I was going to give that one a 4 as well.
I think that's a 4. Yeah, happy. I do like Boone Harbin whiskies, to be fair.
Yeah.
Mainly because they're the only one that does, not the only one, but they do unpeated Isla whiskies.
So I'm not certain, but this might be about to be the oldest whiskey I've had.
Whatever.
I think so.
I mean, do you have some of that single grain that I've got here?
How old is that?
45.
Oh no, I have had that. Never mind. Yeah, it's the oldest single malt I've had.
Okay, if it's okay, that's exciting. Let's have a look at it. It is.
I'm not going to try and get you to guess the.
Yeah,
thing.
okay, that is old. That is very old.
Yeah. So we're on to a 1983 Darwin, I think, 29-year-old from Williams Malts called Old Spiced Balm. Now, 29 years old, bottled, but distilled 1983. That's significantly older than me.
Yeah, that's
This
knocking on.
I'll mention something in a minute about this, but
That's older than my brother.
Yeah. Like
Strathspey. You know Space Cider?
It's a very space side heavy box. It's
Just outside Craigellachie.
Yeah. We've probably seen this one, but
What Dal went? Dalwhinnie, whatever. Oh, we're back down to Fisher Price, my first whiskey strengths. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel a little bit like the alcohol is affecting me.
Yeah, it's 46%.
Yeah. Anyone else is like, yeah, that's pretty strong. We're just like, no, I'm a man.
People who drink vodka, like that's 10% stronger than the standard strength of vodka.
Well, yeah, but also like vodka bros, who are obviously our arch rivals now, they like their alcohol to not taste of anything.
True.
So not only is their alcohol weaker than ours, it doesn't have any flavour.
But yeah.
Because they are cowards.
The best vodka you can get tastes of nothing, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, the best vodka I've ever had is bison grass vodka, and it definitely has a flavour. But
I have a bottle of that in my freezer.
Żurawka.
Let me look it up. It's the Polish one. And the reason I got it is because my mum was... Oh, yeah, it's a Brovka. Yeah, my mum was wanting to try it because she'd read about it in one of these...
Comes with one reed of bison grass in the bottle.
Yeah. She's read about it in one of these murder, death, kill books, you know, like a James Patterson or Lincoln Rhyme or whatever they are, which I enjoy reading as well, just to say. And she's like, oh, I wouldn't mind trying that. And my mum's not big into her alcohols, so I was like, I will encourage alcoholism wherever I can.
Yeah.
So I bought a bottle. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's that's what I mean. Like the best vodka I've had had a significant amount of flavour.
Yeah, it is very tasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not Russian.
No, Polish.
No Russian.
I mean, arguably modern day Poland is also pretty bad, but
it is
not Russia bad. But there are some.
Yes, Yeah.
There's an
Yeah.
element to their society.
Although it's getting better because the new president that just elected is pretty good.
Yeah.
Told good Donald.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
again, not that you should disparage Nazis, that you should disparage people disparaging Nazism, but we are getting off topic and just ranting
This
about
is not.
Nazis.
Yeah. If you want us to do a political podcast, we can do.
Yeah. It'll be
Probably.
mostly people just saying how most politicians are absolute charlatans.
We're as qualified as every other bloody political podcast.
And
as
every
in-
other politician.
Yeah, as in not at all.
Yeah.
This one's very savory. This very leathery, woody.
On the nose, yeah. It definitely smells like a balm, but I would think a balm that you not for like leather balm. Like
like for cracked leather or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really hard to type at this point. Just like to say.
2
Right.
minutes lost it. I'm not actually on the page for it. So here we go.
We're tasting it.
Oh, I was just going to say, I've just tried to load the nose in for the 24th, but it's not loading.
Yeah. Our nosings are better than.
I've got it. He said, softly spiced, ash, mahogany tables. Yeah, whatever.
Kind of, yeah. Like what we said, but with way more words.
It gets a bit more. He's like mountain high, fall air, new rain on new tarred telephone poles. Basically, that sort of
Tar.
Yeah, tarry, waxy, balminess that we were talking about.
So I've gone in for a sip. It's quite light. How to describe it? It's quite. If you over chew something and you don't swallow it, and you start to get like that kind of half bitteriness.
Yeah.
It's like that.
A little bit.
It's a little bit bitter.
It's interestingly just. It's not. After those last ones, this one lacks a punch, maybe?
It lacks an alcohol punch, but it's a little bit fizzy, a little bit.
I more meant lacks like a flavour punch. Like
it's
that last one was such a sherry bomb.
It is harder to tell. It is quite light. I still think there's a little bit of bitterness.
Let's
have a swig of water.
Mm-hmm. That was exactly what I was doing. I was trying to. One more. Wait a minute.
Tried to clear the palate a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting more there. There's a little bit of like tobacco-iness, leatheriness.
That's much better.
There's not much of a finish to it though, is there? Quite
short.
It's
very abrupt. I disagree with almost all of this guy's notes on this one, so I'm just going to skip past.
Yeah.
I think he has a bit of a thing for Dalloween, though. So, just
reading fantasy.
Yeah. I would say there's a roundness to the flavour on this. It's like it's got the sweet and savoury, but like not strongly either.
Yeah.
Like not like a salted caramel. Like it's not the savoury doesn't go as far as salt, and the sweet doesn't go as far as caramel. But like, so today I had something. I had Korean fried chicken on a waffle with.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, with let me look. I'll get the menu up and I'll tell you what the thing was called. 2 minutes. It was like a sort of Korean savoury sort of paste made with peanuts.
Oh, like
Um,
satay or whatever.
but sort of like a satay, but not, but different. But yeah, I think it was a peanut samjang, so double SAMJANG.
Okay.
But so that's sort of savoury, and then maple syrup, and it's like in that sort of a vein of like
It's quite
bready, sweet, but
nutty.
nutty, and
Yeah.
but not strongly anything, but
Yeah.
broadly covering all of the flavour profile, if that makes sense.
What you're saying? Yeah. So I've had the last sip of that, so I'm ready to score. If
I have a
you
little
are,
bit to go because I was. You can
okay.
score too. I'll have my last sip.
I would give that. I think 2.5.
I'd score that higher, but
Okay.
I think 3.5.
2.5. And again, I think it comes back to I'm not a huge fan of the savoury notes,
Yeah, that's probably true.
which is it's just a personal taste thing. It's nothing against the actual whiskey itself. Technical interruption while I just nip to the loo. If that's all right.
Normally we would be finishing here, but we have got the final special for everyone, so we can take
Yep.
a brief hiatus.
I will be back in a second. I've recorded this.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay. I'll do a wee. Do you want to introduce us back from the?
Yeah, I'll do a little.
hiatus?
Let me just record the time, and then I will. Apologies for the interruption there. Just a quick technical difficulties. Not necessarily technical with the recording, more the people recording. You know, we are
The worst kind of technology, biology.
biology, not real science. But
So
we are ready to go for.
we're ready to go for Christmas Day.
This is it. You see, this is the sacrifices we make. Normally, we'd have stopped,
But instead,
but not
we're
only
going
are
to
we
keep
not
going.
stopping,
And I'm going to have a double.
yeah. Not only are we not stopping, we're ramping it up.
Yeah.
Right.
So
what's in this then?
wait
So
a
we've got
minute.
a little.
So
Yeah, okay. Should I guess what it is? I haven't seen the label yet. I've got the bottle out, but I haven't seen the label.
I don't know that I'll be able to get you.
Well, that's a fancy bottle, isn't it? It's got like a
Yeah.
crest on it.
Yep, with the Advent calendar logo.
Oh, I'm keeping that.
Yep. And a wax seal, unlike the others, which are screw capped.
What's in the little red bag?
Just a few little bits and bobs. I think there's a pin and.
Oh yeah. Literally just a pin, but that's still very cool.
So.
Because I was going to keep a hold of, the cardboard from the center that the glass was behind. I was going to keep a hold of that and pin it up.
Just so you know, this is corked. So
okay.
I unscrewed. I tried to unscrew, and that broke the seal that I could pull the cork out.
Right, I'll try and open it carefully.
It's for those of you. What I was going to say in the last one is, this was bottled later than the previous one, but is older in its aging. So this has 30 years in an American oak cask, but was actually distilled in 1984 when the previous one was distilled in 83. So younger but older. There you go. if you ever get a riddle, that
There's
is,
metaphysics for you.
how can something be younger and older?
Can
Well,
be
I actually
whiskey.
think this is just a 50 ml, but it's in a fancy bottle. But I've poured it all out now, so
Are we doing a double then?
I'm doing the double. But you
Well,
don't
no,
have
if
to.
you are doing a double, then I'm doing a double.
Yeah.
What is it? Should I guess? Can I guess or can I see what it is?
You can see what it is.
Oh wow, okay.
It's a 1984 liquid 30-year-old bottled by Samaroli.
Have you poured it all into your glass?
Yep. I measured it first. It's a 50.
All right, here we go.
It's just a different shaped bottle, but it's a cool bottle, and I'd rather
It-
have it be empty so I can put it on display.
Are you gonna put it on display?
Well, I mean, put it aside in my.
Yeah, I think I'm
whiskey.
gonna use it for stuff. I don't know if I'll use it or, like you say, put it on display. 'Cause you can't get rid of it with that cool crest, can you?
Yeah.
Very fancy.
So, Christmas
My,
Day.
my little
On
pen.
Christmas Day too, Electric Boogaloo, as I said.
Yeah. Cheers, Jesus.
Yeah. Thank you for your sacrifice.
It wasn't really a sacrifice. He came back like half an hour later.
Yeah, but coming back gave us him sacrificing himself and then coming back gave us a double bank holiday weekend. So
It did, and chocolate eggs somehow.
yeah, yeah. I think something to do with a combination of Lent and rolling eggs downhill. Almost definitely some pagan shit.
Well, Easter is a pagan word.
Yeah. So it's well, not Christmas, but the festival of Christmas is a pagan festival. But
Yeah, because
if you read the Bible, there's no fucking talk about.
What's this?
Christmas.
45%.
Yeah, this is just a nice 46, but
Really? Are you sure? 45.0.
46. Mine. Oh no, I'm reading the wrong bottle.
What do you
45.
mean? Are you reading the wrong bottle?
I put the bottle away.
Right. Where the hell
I
is
don't know if you
liquid?
noticed it also is stamped with Secret Spirits' logo on this. But yeah.
It is. Yeah, that's what I.
45.0.
That's what I like. Like that Scotch Whisky Advent Calendar Second Edition Secret Spirits at the bottom.
But actually, literally, oh yeah, Secret Spirits on the bottle with the crest, like.
Yeah, definitely keeping that.
Yeah.
It's in Elgin.
What?
Liquid.
Yeah.
Have we seen it then?
I think we might have, but I don't think you can visit. Maybe you can. I'm not sure. We would have probably went if we could though.
Yeah, we would have definitely gone if we could. No, you can't. It was demolished in 2012.
Oh, they don't even exist anymore. Can't get this ever again. And we were drinking all of it.
I'm just going to look at.
Bad Boys for Life.
Oh, there is the Linkwood Distillery still, though.
Oh, they just moved.
I guess. Yeah. Sorry, carry on, and I'll tell you if you can.
Well, I was just going to say.
So we wouldn't have gone there because it's right on the edge of Elgin.
Yeah, so I did mention that the person who I've been essentially taking for the last two podcasts, at least, I've been taking the tasting notes from. There's a guy who is Jewish who has a website called Jewmalt. So he started his little page with day 25 is here. Merry Christmas to all that enjoy this holiday. For me, I'll be enjoying Chinese food and a movie.
I mean, Chinese food is pretty great.
Well, but if you're everything's shut, but
yeah, apart
you
from
don't, you
they
don't
open
care
up on,
why.
They open on Christmas because that's like their tradition, isn't it? That they realise everyone else is shut.
Yeah. So I'm ready for the nose and if you are.
Yes, I am. It's a little bit sherry bomb. A little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe like a jam.
Maybe more like a marmalade.
That's too citrusy.
No, yeah, I'm just thinking it's spicier.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
like
maybe more
like the depth of a jam. Like still like not a raspberry, definitely strawberry.
like a Christmas preserve of some kind.
Yeah, like a spiced Christmas
Yeah.
jam.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, I mean, you could probably, I mean, chuck some cinnamon in with the sugar and
Yeah.
a couple of
Oh, do you want
cloves.
to know something I've just seen?
But,
Abel Distillery only does tastings at present.
oh, no tours.
No,
Well, we've had
only
one,
cool
so
people have toured Abel.
that'll be to do with Pernod Ricard and them moving. They'll be touring different distillery, I'm sure. But yeah.
So there's a few that we haven't done in Speyside. Blinderlock, Balvenie, the Cairn Distillery, whatever that is. Cardew, Cragganmore, Glenallachie, Knockdo, the Speyside Distillery, Tom and Toole Distillery, and that's it. There's more than that in Speyside. This website's not complete. Definitely not complete.
Yeah, I have a worry. I've just read a mouth thing note that makes me concerned. I'll explain why once you've had a taste.
Okay. So we agreed on the Christmas jam.
Yes.
All right. I'm going in for a taste of this double.
I'll join you. Slange. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Slange. It's quite anonymous.
I'm glad. I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
The tasting note that I read was yellow label chartreuse, which may not mean anything to a lot of people.
Mean a lot
Chartreuse
to me.
is a French herbal liqueur that is green in colour, and we used to use it as the dirty shot on people's birthdays, where we would get everyone else either an apple sours or something else green, and they would get a chartreuse, and it inevitably made people run to the toilet because it doesn't taste like anything that you would expect it to taste like.
I've
Like
heard of
it's like
chartreuse, but I don't know why.
I probably have mentioned it. It was
Yeah, maybe.
it haunted us. I imagine someone will try and buy it for me. Um,
yeah.
The
Yeah,
best
maybe.
bit though is that they'll probably have to ask me what it was called because I was the one who always remembered it. So
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, what was that called? And you're like, oh, yeah, it was called Glenfarclas 105.
it was called what's it called? Auchentoshin. What's it?
Look over at
The
me
yeah.
pointedly, and I'm like, that sounds awful, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I should also have
I'm
one.
like, it's called Teeling.
yeah.
Josh, what's that
Literally
really
just being there.
really awful Teeling that we love? I mean,
Yeah. The single grain.
yeah.
Can I have one as well? Because I hate it.
Yeah. So that was making me worried, but it doesn't taste anything like it, so it's fine. This definitely have been enjoying his not celebrating Christmas because it says this is a Velvet Elvis picture that's been sitting in your attic for 30 years with linseed oil and lanolin, wood panelled
I like
wall
linseed
finished
oil
basement.
actually, because
Yeah.
I get quite herbally, oiliness
Mm.
from it. Yeah.
I do think it has a herbalism to it, but herbalism is a completely
Her-
different thing.
It's a
Herbalism
professional.
would be dank.
I just think it's a professional Warcraft that Druids did.
Yeah. But yeah. Basically, it's herby and peppery. Is what the
I was
tasting
desperately
notes
trying
are.
to think of a herb in Warcraft and I couldn't. Mage weave. No,
There you go. No, not that one.
that's a
I don't.
fabric.
I don't know this stuff because I didn't do made shit. But
No, me neither. That's fucking played like 2 years. Like as I played it more than 2 years, but as in like my character has about 2 years played on it.
actual like physical time, people like
Gold Fawn.
like in game 600 days time sort of thing.
Yeah. Gold Fawn. That is an actual is a herb. I'll take that. Oh, I never did herbalism. I was a minor blacksmith. Because warrior, got to be a man of blacksmith as a warrior.
Of course.
Hit shit, make
There's
shit.
got to be some kind of war.
Yeah.
Probably.
As in, yeah. I think there's blood war.
Like this is fantasy gaming. Everything involves wars. WRT.
Yeah. Blood root. Wicked war. That's wicked war is not a thing. That's for these new Gen Z bastards playing it now, not real people.
Wicked. It's for the Boston Massive.
Oh, Peace Bloom. I remember Peace Bloom, Earthroot, Mage Royal, Briarthorn. I remember all these now that I'm looking at them. Wild Steel Bloom, Cadgar's Whisker. Christ's sake, I don't remember any of these.
And we
You
definitely
come across them still when you'd be like riding around and be like, I don't
pick
want
them
this.
up and be like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Shit, it's just filling up my
Yeah,
inventory."
I'm not a fudging mage.
Yeah.
Gold Clover. Frost Lotus, yeah.
Anyway, back to the WhiskAYE.
Sorry, I've not seen any warts.
Oh.
And then we're into DLCs, expansions after I left. Herbal, linseed oil, Mage Royal.
Yeah, it's got just it's like a spicy herby, but like nice whiskyness.
It's like a kofta or something like that, but without the meat, just the spices.
Yeah, I could get that.
I'm gonna say kofta spices because it's no more ridiculous than
Anything else? No.
Yeah.
30 years old though. Oh, interesting.
It's quite a short finish. There's not much to it.
It feels like I know it definitely wouldn't be. I guarantee it costs far too much for that. But it feels like the kind of whiskey that you would have a couple of. You know.
Yeah, it's
Like,
easy to drink.
It's very easy drinking. But that's probably not good when it's 30 years old. Probably costs at least low three figures, but probably.
So a 30-year-old Linkwood.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find a cheaper one. 2 seconds. Oh, £700.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad whiskey, but it's not a £700 whiskey. It's just not. I'm sorry.
There's a couple of indie bottlers here that are in the 350 range.
Even still, there's the Hunter Lang one.
Old and Rare and
yeah, Old and Rare Platinum.
Yeah, and Time Drum. Not Time Drum, Infrequent Flyers. Time Drum's a company that's selling it.
It's just not quite. If you think of like the whiskies I've got that are like £250 or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't put this in that bracket.
No.
But
it's not
I
a
would
bad
say
whiskey.
It's bad.
No.
I mean, I've still got
not.
some left, but I'm probably at the point when I'm willing to score it.
Yeah, we can give it a go.
I would probably go for just a 3.
I think a 3 is a fair score. Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I was going to give it a 3.5 by dint of its age.
Yeah.
But it's just not that good.
That is why I said just a 3, because I do feel like I expected more, especially given the last 2 old ones that we've had. But not bad, just not special.
Not
we
worth
were
waiting
hoping-
30 years.
No, not 30 years worth of work. No.
That would be my suggestion to Sam and Rolly.
And or Oli.
Yeah, don't wait for 30 years if the whiskey's not worth it.
Yeah, bottle this sooner.
Yeah, I don't feel like any cask influence in that one.
I mean, there must be some, but
Yeah, maybe the cask is what's ruined it. Not ruined, but you know what I mean. As like taking the flavour
yeah,
and
it's not a special cask, so not worth the 30 years, basically.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it is. It is. I think it was American oak. Let me just double check. Yeah. So American oak might just have been.
Yeah. And they've diluted it afterwards to get to 45%.
Well, I think they probably didn't have a lot of whiskey left. To be fair, it probably wasn't that much diluting at 30 years old.
True, but 45% is a bit round.
Yeah, no, I mean, I imagine. I mean, that 27-year-old Bunnahabhain was at 55.4 out of cask, so they have done some diluting, but
Yeah.
not coming down from 67.
No,
But
no,
still,
not at 30 years old. No.
Still probably not getting that many more bottles out for it. They might have been better off just selling it.
But it's still pretty amazing that that's in an advent calendar.
Yeah, I mean our main takeaway for this whole thing is that this advent calendar, I think it was probably just a bit before its time.
Yeah, I think it probably was, unfortunately, because whiskey's riding high at the moment.
And while specialist advent calendars for adults only really started to come in during sort of lockdown.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this like cool pin and everything that we've got.
yeah.
I'm gonna put that in my whiskey room. It's very snazzy, like the two and everything on it. You know.
Yes, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Like they've obviously put a lot of work into this because like they've got the bottle itself. The last one is really cool with the the crest and the the glass itself has got embossed with secret spirits and
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shame.
As I say, I think they just
Timed
maybe
it wrong.
slightly before their time.
So anyway, there
Sorry
you
for
go.
the slurping noises there. I was at the bottom of my bottle of water.
That's right. A bumper edition of the Advent calendar. 7 whiskies, 8 singles, because we had a double of the last one.
Yep. Probably I had it tomorrow morning.
Probably. A little bit of social justice. You choose which side I am on, but it's pretty clear, I'd have thought, given my earlier profanity against certain
Definitely
public
not a
figures.
national socialist.
No, punch Nazis is law for good.
Yeah.
And this idea that net worth is equal to actual worth is abhorrent.
Yeah.
But yes, I choose to approach this nonsensical world that we live in by getting pissed on whiskey. If you're able to actually fix it, great for you. Well done.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah.
Tell us how it goes.
Yeah,
Comment below.
I will support you the whole way up until it requires any physical effort on my part, and then I won't, which is why the world will never get better.
Yeah. And on
other
that
than
cheery note,
yes, thank you for listening. Merry Christmas / Trans Day of Visibility.
Trans Day of Visibility, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jesus. And we will see you next time.
Yep. Cheerio.
See you later.
Bye.